The soldier talks to him, tries to distract him, and grabs the money box and runs away. The general tells him, okay, but if you accuse the wrong man, you're going to be the one who's punished. So he says, this is the guy. And the general takes the soldier, they start whipping him and beating him until he confesses. Tzvach, everybody, yes. In the town in which the Shpela Zayda lived, in the town that the Shpela Zayda lived in, there was a Yid who had a store, a little booth, you could say, in the market. He had a booth in the market, and it happened to be that there were soldiers in the town at the time. A certain soldier goes over to him where he had his wares. Now he had the box of money, right? His where he was putting the money in front, right where he was doing at the point of sale on that platform, right? He had his box with all the money that went inside it. So the soldier talks to him, tries to distract him, and grabs the money box and runs away. So now the Yid he starts to make a big commotion, and he goes and he tracks down where the army is, and he goes to the general, and he complains to the general. The general says, "Can you recognize if you point out who the soldier is? So we'll deal with it." So the Yid says, "I have no way of knowing who the soldier is because they all wear the same uniform. They all look alike to me." The general tells him, "I can't help you if you don't know what he looks like. How are we going to identify him? I can't go now and interrogate all my soldiers." He had tons and tons of soldiers. So he runs to the Shpela Zayda. He tells the Shpela Zayda the whole story, and the Shpela Zayda says like this: "Go and ask for a lineup of the soldiers, and the soldier that is gnashing his teeth at you in anger, right? He has an angry face, and he's like, baring his teeth at you. He's the guy." So this Yid runs back to the general, tells him, "If you put a line of the soldiers, I'll be able to tell who it is." And the general tells him, "Okay, but if you accuse the wrong man, you're going to be the one who's punished." And the Yid was confident in what the Shpela Zayda told him. They had the lineup, and the Yid goes soldier by soldier by soldier until he comes to a soldier that looks really mad at him and is baring his teeth at him. So he says, "This is the guy." And the general takes the soldier, they start whipping him and beating him until he confesses to taking the money, and the Yid gets his money back. The general, though, is very curious, right? The general is very curious in wondering how this Yid was able to come up with this idea. The Yid, who was a Pashta guy, he said, "Listen, I have a Rebbe, and the Rebbe told me." So the general said, "You have to bring me the rabbi at once." So now this Yid feels bad. He made, unwittingly, he made it that now the Shpela Zayda has to come and see the general. Who knows what the general wants from him? So the Yid goes to the Shpela Zayda. He's upset, and he's sad. And he tells the Shpela Zayda what happened. The Shpela Zayda says, Don't worry about it. He didn't do anything, and I'm not going to go. Tell the general I'm not coming to him, but he should check his pockets. So the Yid obviously trusts the Shpela Zayda, and even though this message could have seemed like chutzpah, he went to the general and told him exactly what the Shpela Zayda said. So the guy goes, checks his pockets, finds a letter, opens the letter, and he goes into his chambers. He finds a letter, he looks at the letter, he goes right into his chambers, and he killed himself.
Okay, no sound effect necessary.
That's the big one.
So, now, people didn't understand what happened over here. And it came out that the reason why this happened was this general was going with the soldiers to fight a rival army. And he accepted bribery.
Oh, no.
So that he would go, he had an agreement that he would go to a certain place with his army, and he conspired with the other side that they'll be waiting in ambush for the army in a certain place, and they'll take them all captive, and he gets paid, right? He gets his payday.
Dun dun dun.
So now he had written 2 letters. He wrote a letter to his own king, saying that everything is okay, everything is good when we're expecting a victory, and he wrote to the rival army, to the rival side. He writes to them the exact details of where the ambush is going to be. And when he looked in his pocket, he realized that he had mailed out the first letter to his king. However, he sent the wrong letter. He sent the letter detailing the ambush, and now he realizes his life is over. The jig is up. And that's why he took his life. It's a bit unconventional for the stories of tzaddikim. It ends up a little bit morbidly, but the point is that number one, go to your Rebbe first.
How is it morbid? You mess with Jews, you get.
And number 2 is don't mess with the tzaddik. Although it seemed that the tzaddik kind of spared him instead of having to go through the whole. Anyway, the point is that Zecher Tzaddik Livracha, we should have a beautiful week. Chassidus Shavach, Mashiach Dikavach, Hagut Tevach, Parnas Dikavach, all good from Aleph and Taf. We should be miskasher with the Rebbe, our Rebbe, and we should be reunited with all our loved ones and all our tzaddikim. Meher B'Mamash, Mashiach now, and Hagut Tevach.